At its absolute baseline, professional wrestling is a straightforward proposition. Two athletes step into a ring, follow a set of rules, and compete for a championship. But when you're trying to fill a venue the scale of this, a simple athletic exhibition falls short. The sheer volume of tickets requires a much deeper level of audience investment. To bridge that gap, the promotion intentionally breaks the standard rules of the sport, using a process of narrative escalation to pull the audience into a state of high emotional investment. The March 23, 2026 episode of Monday Night Raw demonstrates how this chaos is manufactured on the road to a major event. The broadcast operates on a strict three-tier escalation framework. It pushes conflict up a ladder, from physical rule-breaking to psychological warfare, and finally, real-world consequences. This engineered chaos functions as a massive sales funnel calibrated to maximize pay-per-view buys. Level 1 of the framework is the physical override. This is where characters discard the standard rulebook entirely, opting instead for unchecked brawling and outside interference. You see this instantly when a massive anomaly like Brock Lesnar finds his standard size advantage neutralized, getting unceremoniously tossed over the top rope by Obafemi before the match even begins. The structure breaks down further with the introduction of foreign objects. LA Knight casually slides brass knuckles into the rings for Jey Uso to use, blatantly committing a disqualification right in front of the referee. Then the physical environment collapses entirely. Liv Morgan and Stephanie Vaquer engage in a brawl so intense that the standard officiating crew is completely incapable of separating them. These moments successfully establish an environment of constant physical danger. But violence alone lacks the deep personal stakes required to anchor a global premium event. That brings us to Tier 2, psychological warfare. When physical dominance hits a plateau, characters pivot to attacking their opponent's mental state. We get an extreme, almost surreal variation of this when internet personality IShowSpeed tries to negotiate a business deal with Danhausen, only to be hit with a supernatural curse that leaves him completely bewildered. But the masterclass in mental disruption comes from CM Punk during his calculated provocation of Roman Reigns. Instead of throwing a punch, Punk relies entirely on a microphone. He carefully deploys smart-ass remarks and verbal jabs designed specifically to strip away Reigns' composure. By targeting the mind rather than the body, the promotion hooks the audience's empathy. The dynamic evolves from an athletic contest into an intense emotional vendetta, which triggers Tier 3, the nuclear option. This is an extreme escalation tactic where the broadcast shatters the fourth wall by injecting heavy, real-world legal and familial threats. Paul Heyman delivers a chilling monologue aimed squarely at Seth Rollins. Notably, Heyman never once threatens to lay a finger on him. Instead, Heyman weaponizes the legal system. He threatens Rollins with a restraining order, felony prison time, a messy divorce, and calls to child protective services, ending with a promise to personally adopt Rollins' daughter. We are used to seeing Rollins as a confident, composed champion, but the intrusion of these deeply personal, authentic threats forces a complete break in his usual character. The fallout is catastrophic. Rollins snaps, violently attacks Heyman, and is immediately swarmed, handcuffed, and hauled away by the actual Boston Police Department. By actively erasing the line between a scripted entertainment product and authentic legal jeopardy, the show creates an atmosphere of absolute, undeniable urgency. The broadcast reaches its climax when all three of these escalation tiers are triggered simultaneously, resulting in a total systemic collapse. We see this system failure play out perfectly at the boiling point between CM Punk and Roman Reigns. Pushed entirely beyond his psychological limits by Punk's verbal dismantling, Reigns snaps. He completely ignores the pleas of the authority figures around the ring, and even tunes out his own family trying to calm him down. The tension breaks in a savage physical climax. Reigns explodes, driving the world champion directly through the announcer's table. Look at the state of the broadcast in its final minutes. The ringside area is destroyed, one top star in police custody. Officials are powerless to stop it. This is the tension resolution threshold. the exact psychological point where rising conflict ruptures the limits of free television. The audience realizes there's no conclusion tonight. The industry thrives on this engineered warfare, leaving fans only one way to find resolution: buy the ticket.